and I am back. I am super duper excited to be with you guys today. I have not been on YouTube in forever. Please forgive me, y'all. I am back and I am so better. Hit the red button down below. Subscribe to my wonderful, wonderful channel. Alright, so today is Monday and I hope you guys had a great weekend. Of course, Mondays are my favorite days. Monday is my favorite day. Monday is my favorite day of the week. A lot of people don't like Mondays, but it's my favorite day of the week. Not only does it reassures me that I have a better week to complete, but it reassures that God has given me life because, you know, the whole week before has passed. But you guys, y'all don't understand how happy I am to be back. I'm just so happy to be back. I am so better, and I graduated. Woo! So that was so bad. I'm gonna try to but you know what? It's Monday and we going back. We talking too much. So today Monday motivation is stay in your lane. This topic hit me so hard one day when I was in the midst of praying, and I just started crying so bad. Like, God was just like, Victoria, you need to stay still, stay in your lane, stay exactly where you are, because that is where I want you to be. So I'm gonna give you a quick testimony that will tie into all of this. So me and my cousin Bené, shout out to her, go follow her YouTube page. Me and my cousin Bené, we actually had our cousins in the car. We had to split cars because she was driving her car, I was driving my car. And we were all going to her house to drop off the kids. And we were actually racing. So, kids, don't do this, okay? Don't do this. Don't do this! Okay. We were racing. And I started slowing. We were racing in the highway, of course. And if anybody know, me and Bené, we be driving kind of reckless. And she's like my twin. So she's like my evil twin. So when we're together, we be doing stuff that we don't need to be doing. And we were driving on the highway. And she was beating me. I was beating her. Whatever the case may be. But I seen a state trooper right beside me, so I started slowing down. But I was slowing down so I could also get her attention, like to slow down as well. But I think she did not see the state trooper, so she decided to pass me, and she got caught. Y'all, wow, I was dying so bad. But anyway, I was so dying. Back to the topic, stay in your lane. This is where it all began. When God placed you somewhere, is not because he's placing you because you're on punishment. God sometimes do certain things so he can work. God is a God that always stay working. Maybe you may not believe that he's working on your behalf, but as we speak right now, he's working through your weight. And that's what I had to learn, and that's what I am still learning. As you wait, as you experience this waiting season, God is not doing anything. God is doing something. He's cooking up something right now at this very moment, even where you are less expected. As humans, we are limited, but our God is limitless. So when we think about this pause in this season that we are going through, you have to look at it as God has a better plan, and it's bigger than us, and it's bigger than what we think. So, like I said, I told you guys this story just to let you know that as I was praying, I seen this story come in my mind again, and it was showing me how at times my cousin was beating me, at times I was beating her, and that's how life is. That's how God does our season. It will be a season where your friends or your colleagues will be in front of you. They will be going ahead, and you may be left behind. But being left behind doesn't mean God has neglected you. But being left behind means that God is preparing you so that you can either be at the same pace where they are or even go further. So when you see God, when you think of God, you have to think about it as a connection. It's just as a charger. I know the only way that your phone can stay connected if you are connected, if your charger's connected to your phone. The only way it can stop charging if you disconnect it. Same way with God. You can only be disconnected with God if you disconnect yourself from Him. So it's your duty as a child of God, as a individual, to get closer to God. So when you're running this race, God tells you that everyone has a season. And He also tells you, don't worry, right? Don't worry about even if people behind you are falling beneath you and you are rising above them. It doesn't mean that you're better. It doesn't mean that you are superior. It just means that God is preparing you for the season that you are here. So always remember, you have to stay connected in order to go further. So only way the disconnection can happen is if you disconnect yourself. So staying in your lane is understanding that where you are is exactly where God wants you to be. No matter how hard, how heavy it may be, that's exactly where God wants you to be. And it took me a while, and it's still taking me time to understand that where I am as Bunzi, that's exactly where God wants me to be. And although I may want to rush this process that God calls wait, or this process that God calls being still, or this process that God calls your season, you cannot rush that process, because if you rush that process, you may miss your blessing. So I'm just encouraging you today on this wonderful Monday, stay in your lane, be you, do you, and get connected with God and stay connected with God, and He will lead you. Before, we are limited as humans, but God is limitless. What we don't feel or what we think that may happen, God has something better for us. So I encourage you on this Monday to stay in your lane, be you, trust God, fall madly in love with Him. Hit the subscribe button if you didn't, and bye y'all.